Kyle.
MatTeaIce.
MatTeaIce. Kyle lives here. We're at What You Want. Want to talk about some edibles that you have offered in Arizona. So as far as recreation is involved, we can get you pretty much 100 milligrams, in a bag. Of that 100 milligrams, it can get chopped into a single 100 milligram doses, 2 50 milligram doses, 10 10s, or 25s. Now some are micro dose under 5 milligrams, but for the most part, 10 10s and 20 that are 5 milligrams each seem to be what do people right. Recreational dosage is 5 to 15 milligrams. So you're thinking like half a gummy to a gummy and a half. And we are shooting this in a live head shop right now. What You Want off the 89A. So come check us out anytime you need any accessories. So dosage wise, what do you prefer?
I'm a 20 to 30.
20 to 30.
Kind of my sweet spot. Play around with either a fast acting or a traditional. Mess around with the activation times. Your quick or fast acting will activate when you're around 10 to 20 minutes, where your traditional usually comes in about 45 to an hour and a half.
Do all those at one time, or do you stagger it or anything like that? Like you just jump straight into 30 milligrams?
I'll stagger it. I'll take my traditional first. Say I'm going on a hike, I'll get out into my packing and my bag and stuff like that, get out on the trail and pop a quick. So it's hitting me on there, so then I get that extended ride from the quick into that traditional.
I'll get like a 30 milligram gummy or a 50 milligram gummy, and I'll eat half of it, when I first park at the trail. And 15 to 30 minutes later, once I get to my destination, I like to kind of pop that other half and then just get comfortable for a little bit.
Get comfortable.
Get comfortable. Vibe-wise, what's your story? How much THC do you normally take at night to get a solid 6 or 8 hours?
10
cents, so it says you.
With that natural recovery.
Okay. Good one for that, I'd say, will probably be something like these Wanna Stay Asleep. Now inside there, it's got 10 gummies. Each gummy is going to be 10 THC, 20 CBD. Now they're also going to give you 5 CBN and 5 CBG. Yeah, so it doesn't pair with everybody. Sometimes you get what's known as like a hippie hangover in the morning, where you kind of have to sit there, do some breathing exercises, get your mind right for the day.
You gotta do a little bit of meditation and some movement just to get that blood moving and get that fog out.
You throw in some of these cocktails, like on that stay asleep, your body's gonna be processing them all, but you might find you need a little less of the gummy, being that it has a little bit more structure instead of just straight THC. Now, some of our patients do real well with our straight THC indica. So experimenting, learning more, shoot with your own body. Daytime wise, what do you like to mess with? Straight THC, or do we blend anything in with that?
No blending.
Okay.
Maybe a sativa.
To the dome.
Sativa and a hybrid.
Okay.
I mess around with that. I usually will take 2 to get that 20 milligrams. Sativa and a hybrid, or two hybrids. Usually don't do 2 sativas, and they either go out and hike or speed around. Tends to spike my anxiety just a little bit, taking that much sativa.
Edible for a recreational dosage, we're normally working with 5 to 15 milligrams. It's a recreational dosage. Medical dosage is more like 30 to 50 milligrams. So wherever you feel comfortable falling into that category, 5, especially if you're not a daily user on that one, settles pretty good, takes the edge off nicely. 10 milligrams, you're usually gonna feel that one pretty good. 15, you're getting set in your ways for a little bit. But like I said, medical, you're looking more like 30 to 50 milligrams. I even have some patients that go with 100 milligrams, a dosage, and that's just, they'll do that once or twice throughout the day just to hold it together.
Brave soul taking 100 milligrams.
100 milligrams feels a lot different than 50 milligrams on that one. For me personally, will put me in my seat pretty good. I'll have that comfortable kind of hug once that kicks in.
I have to do it one of these days.
Do it.
I just have to step out and venture. I think 60 has been your top.
Now.
Yeah, TV was definitely watching me.
Yeah,
I was melted in the couch.
TV's got its eye on you for sure. So I've ever done is maybe 250 milligrams in one sitting, just to see, hey, what if? You know, got to find out what's really going on. And the only way you can die from this or OD is if you forget to breathe. Don't forget to breathe, and you're probably gonna make it. We brought out an array of different gummies here for the most part. Gummies seem to be the most universally accepted by most patients on there. Pretty consistent if it's a fully infused edible versus just a coating on that one. So you should get some more consistency out of those gummies, you know, where you kind of know it's going to be on point every time. There's a lot of different brands, so that you got fruit pectin versus gelatin, tapioca sweetener versus a corn syrup.
Is there anything that you stay away from?
I've noticed that animal proteins have an adverse reaction with the THC, body absorption wise. So dark chocolate, which has a higher levels of cacao in it, the cacao enhances the THC, kind of gives it that synergistic effect on there. Dutch bakeries with the pot shops, the coffee, and then the dark chocolates in there. It all works together. So coffee beans, cacao, cannabinoids, all good for it. For myself, I've always gotten more of a consistent reaction out of it. Dark chocolate over milk chocolate, fruit pectin over gelatin, tapioca sweetener over corn syrup. You know, that's my preference. But if you're not in a state where you get to really fine tune it down to that, you know, just take whatever you can get, I guess.
Definitely experiment. Definitely experiment.
Being that this is
They're
organic.
all different. They can come in different tastes, you know, different flavors, be bitter, be really tasteful and sweet. You know, there's some that I'll gravitate to because of the taste of it. It's usually where I tend to gravitate to certain brands because of the taste. The effects are great. Taste is what takes me over the edge and takes me towards certain brands over others.
Depending on what you went through that day can also determine how it's going to affect you, you know, when you take that edible or the day prior. You know what I'm saying? So it's not always, even if it's same quality control, you're not the exact same every time you take it. So you're going to get a little bit of different reaction out of it. Like I said, we are messing with, you know, bioorganic individuals, you know, and products. So your body's going to interpret it a little bit different based on the stresses, hydration, how much you've eaten or not eaten. Edible wise, I like to take mine more on an empty stomach. You know, I'll do it just as a meal, you know, and see where the day takes me. A lot of people do experience a little bit of nausea if they do that. So a full stomach's not advised because that kind of delay the reaction as far as your body processing it. Kind of goes through that. Edibles, if you can chew them for about 30 seconds, 30 minutes later, your body starts working with that. That's an old hippie trick they taught me with some brownies they made me. Was I took a couple bites and they told me, is it bud, you didn't chew it up enough. And then once I started doing that, it was a game changer for me with edibles. So chew for 30 seconds, 30 minutes later, you should start kind of catching the effects. You want that consistent onset. Over chew them for sure will get you a little bit more consistency out of it.
Now, where do you sit as far as fast acting, traditional? Where do you fall in that?
So some people like the fast acting. Me personally, I'm not a big fan of the fast acting whatsoever. I like to get my liver involved versus the fast acting absorbs straight into your bloodstream, kind of bypasses that liver, goes right into the head, kicks in quicker, leaves a little bit quicker. I feel it can kind of swing my pendulum a little bit differently. So I'm not a fast acting kind of guy. Good stuff.
You fast? No.
No.
Maybe hiking.
Hiking.
With some flip flops on.
Slippers, always flip flops. If I can't wear flip flops, I'm not going. Yeah.
I can attest to that. I wear my boots. He'll wear his flip flops.
Yeah, probably shouldn't be out there. My right arm is paralyzed now. It's kind of what got me in to the medical side of cannabis. Was 13 years ago, I was in a coma for 6 weeks. Came out of it, kind of had to rebuild myself. Paralyzed my right arm, my right diaphragm, my right pec. Ruptured my spleen. Trash bag full of pharmaceuticals that I was taking every day. Scared me to the point that they told me if I didn't take them, it's no telling what I would do to myself or anyone else. So I took them religiously and consistently. You know, but I found that as I adjusted my lifestyle up, they weren't so necessary. Pharmaceutical free for 11 years, just relying on a lot of cannabis products. But we've definitely seen a lot of people help a lot of patients out for MS, Crohn's, cancer, neuropathy. What if you worked with anybody?
Just your everyday pains, aches and pains. We're not getting younger.
Yeah,
so,
facts. Facts.
You know the demographic that we work in, and we thrive in that. Being able to educate on so many different facets, being able to educate about this, about how it can help. A lot of stuff out there that are misinformed. That talking to a lot of people about training them out with that education and your cannabis products away from, like you said, your pharmaceuticals and stuff like that, to a
it's very much a lifestyle adjustment, because once you get into this, you start decreasing stress and increasing your quality of sleep. You're going to start seeing other avenues in your life that's kind of needs to happen to, and how a lot of times society is set up to be counterproductive, and to being more of a healthy physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, on that side. So if you can get that all wrapped up into a nice little bow, your life is definitely going to improve greatly.
Won't allow you to even step foot out your house.
Just making sure we're recording.
Oh, fuck you.
Yeah, I just want to go check it. Let me make sure we're recording before we go any further. Okay, no, we are recording.
Away from the edibles today?
No.
No.
Not new.